Hello and welcome to the History of the Picts podcast, episode 4, questions, part 1. Question 1. What are the requirements for the Picts to still be around today, and what would have happened if they didn't disappear? This is from Nicholas or Radio Blades. And I'll let you speak a bit first about it, so I can get my thoughts racing here.
The requirement for the Picts to be around still today would be for the Viking raids not to be so intense on Pictland. They would have had to have maybe successfully fought them off.
I think the easiest way of it is the battle they fought, where they lost in ability.
Yeah, in 838. Well, that's if you subscribe to the theory that after this, despite the fact that the Picts had lost kings before in battle, they then decide to go, do you know what? I actually think it would be really cool in Chungus if we had a union with the Scots of Dalrata. Or you can take the Scottish myth, which I say Scottish myth as in comes from Dalriatan like lore, that they slaughtered all the Pictish nobles and then stole the crown. So I think it depends on which one of them you believe.
Yeah, depends if you're a unionist or an independence referendum. But it's the thing is, with that myth, it is seen as a myth though by most people, especially, and you know, there's a running joke here. Tim Clarkson, he thinks that's not true because he believes that the Scots just didn't know what happened and how they got in charge. They just made a lie up, and it comes from the Scots themselves, and not the English or like the Welsh or the Irish. It comes from the Scots who made this up, which does kind of imply that it could be true, because why would you lie about that? But it could just literally be they didn't know what happened, so they just used like a simple explanation or a myth, because it was made like decades years afterwards they actually took charge.
Which, to be fair, for ancient sources is pretty good though.
Yeah. So back to the question. Yeah, back to the question. Yeah. I've got a good thing actually. So if the Picts, let's say example, they won the battle to the Vikings, Strathclyde still would have fell to the Picts. The Strathclyde, no, not the Picts. So the Strathclyde still fell to the Vikings. I forget that was before they got into Pictlands, or it was after. I still believe no matter what, Strathclyde would still fall to the Vikings, and they destroyed Dumbarton Rock. The Picts and the Scots, there'd be no Scottish culture, I think, embedded in Pictland, even though there was still that happening. But I feel like the Pictish culture and tradition would still keep steady and hold fast. And it'd probably be if, for example, I still believe the core Scottish history would still happen, but maybe not, because Kenneth MacAlpin, ancestors do lead to like Alexander III, who died and starts the Independence of Scotland War. But if the theory is that Kenneth MacAlpin was Pictish in like some sort of way, the same line could have still happened. It's a whole what if, who knows, but
yeah, I think there's a lot of hoop jumping we have to go through here. But I'm trying to think, if it was around today, it changes a lot, because we were kind of talking about this before we started recording. The reason the English get involved, I mean, I suppose you can still assume, I'm sure there's some like event of an English king dying that happens directly because Scotland exists, and we're about to get absolutely flamed for this. But it assumes that if Edward I still comes on the throne, it makes invading Scotland an interesting prospect, because there wouldn't be a united kingdom there in Scotland to invade because of the Casus Belli it gets.
The amount of time afterwards, Scotland could still be a thing. It wouldn't be called Scotland. It'd be the Picts would have probably by this point. The Picts would have consolidated the Scots probably by this point, because they were a vassal at this point, or like a tribute state.
The Picts had previously vassalised Dalriata as well during the reign of, I'm going to butcher this, Oengus MacFergus.
Oengus the First, MacFergus.
Yeah,
but they were still they were dominant power over everyone. The Scots for a long time, and also the Britons around them. Even at a certain point, they were bodying the English, the Northumbrians. It was the Bruce son of Belly. He was the one that won that. I forgot the name of the battle, but it was like a really big battle, and it was.
Was it Dunecton?
I think it was Dunecton. There
was that too early?
But there's no cavalry or archers, and it was that bad. The English settlers in the lower Pictish Kingdom region, they were slaughtered. they had to flee, and it was a cool thing. This could be just like made up for the history records, but well, not made up like embellished. Apparently, the priest his high priest begged the English king not to go to battle that day. Um, and then also went to battle and died. He died in the fighting, and it caused his family to almost be captured, I think, by the Picts. That's me from remembering from what I read. I don't think that's fact, but I know there's something about the English priest who was begging them not to go to battle when they went to battle. But that's kind of like it seems kind of too convenient. You know what I mean? Like, and
Aye.
God, it was given by God to win this battle. Even the priests agree. It's but back to the question. It's weird because I don't know by this point if the Scots had like a death grip over religion over the Picts in Iowa, but I think maybe not by this moment of time because the Scots had a death grip over the religion and the Picts had a death grip over like the actual people. It was like the politically it was the Picts and religiously it was the Scots. So it was a really weird kind of like battle, but the
Dynamic.
Vikings destroyed like Iona and raided it a lot, so they had to move it to eventually to like Dunkeld with the Ken McAlpin. So if the Picts still around today, or like actually didn't disappear because of the Vikings, then the Scots wouldn't be they'd still be a thing. They'd maybe be like
Yeah.
England could be like no England, Scotland could be like a nation of two peoples. It could be like a whole
Yeah, it
I'm
would be very
Pictish.
interesting.
Yeah, it could be like England, like the Britons and the Anglo Saxons, but like they
Yeah.
kind of merge at one point. It would be quite interesting, but I would believe this maybe get me battled and hung on the street, but I do believe that England would have beaten Pickland much easier than if it wasn't Scotland, because the Picts would have been ununified with the Scots, and the whole thing was like Scotland in itself was really ununified against English. Um, but you don't, we never know. It's if is there a Bruce that comes along? Is there a Wallace? Is there Alexander the Third? Is there even like a
The thing is there even a Cassius Belli for Edward the First to go into Scotland? He would have probably made one up. We keep saying Scotland, but it is known as Scotland. Would have
yeah
been an interesting. It would have been very Anglo-Scots relationships would have been. So I suppose it'd be Anglo-Pict relationships
yeah
would be very interesting. And as well, the thing is it's a difficult one because I think you're right. They would have subjugated. I think in this sort of universe, assuming the Picts are still dominant, they would have subjugated Dalrata. They would have then evidently it probably would have went Strathclyde then Dalrata.
yeah. Strathclyde would be the
Uh,
easiest one. It would
yeah.
sweep through because the
Um.
power base is gone.
Well,
Well, we're not gone. We know
they
what I
were
mean. Like
quite
I
powerful.
was in tatters, but like remember after the Vikings didn't like in this big battle that killed the Picts and Billy, for like 2 3 years they were unopposed. It was like chaos. It was just Vikings did what they want.
Yeah.
And if they
Um.
managed to do the same to Strathclyde, it would be the Vikings and the Picts doing what they want in Strathclyde.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Scots too.
It's very interesting. I think it. I don't think, and I think Lewis is right here. If for coming into well, I think a clash between Pictland and England's inevitable, particularly during the long stretches of the medieval period. But I would guess perhaps I don't think too much changes, but I suppose you probably wouldn't get a union. There would be no United Kingdom.
But there may still be a Britain. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, of course, it's
Because
not Britain.
no. I mean,
Britain's
like,
Ireland.
no. But like the Pickland could be called like see how England landed the
Ah,
English.
yeah,
It could be Britland. Like Scotland
yeah.
could technically be called Britland if the Picts had a whole we are Brittonic brothers kind of way. You know what I mean? It would be. I would maybe it would be this way if Pickland didn't fall. This year's Alexander like there's still that Edward the First. He would still invade
Wales.
Brittonic brothers. There could be a chance where there's a strong alliance between Pickland and Wales.
Yep.
So that could be the Cassius Belli. You'd be like they're defending Wales, they're aiding Wales. There's so many like ways this can go. In terms of thingy,
Yeah, no, it is. It's very.
it's a really good question, and
Well, I suppose we could also say there would be no Scottish Gaelic. That wouldn't exist anymore. I don't think. I think it would die out.
Scottish
would
Gaelic would
think it
still
would-
be
I
a
think-
thing, but I think
Nah, I think it would die out. Because think
it'd
about
be-
it. 'Cause think about it.
it'd be a dialect. I
Everybody-
think maybe it would be a separate language, but it'd be a
I
dialect.
think I think it would die out because nobody speaks Cumbric anymore. And if you look at what encompasses Pictland and Strathclyde, a whole lot of people spoke that. I don't think. I think Scots Gaelic
Well,
would be
the Picts
extinct.
maybe wouldn't have spoke Cumbric. We don't know what they spoke. It could be a different language. Well, it was a different language from like, it's been similar,
Yeah.
but it's the whole like with the Scots. From what I gather from the Scots, they seem very like a great like it's a really small like kingdom, but they're really good at fighting off invaders or like resisting. But they were conquered a lot by the English. But like, there's also a thought that
I mean, they were also
I've heard option.
subjugated by the Picts, though.
Yeah,
So
the
previously,
yeah. There's also another point we didn't think about: Northumbria and Bernicia.
does that?
If Strathclyde has an issue here, who knows? Like, it's not guaranteed the Picts going to invade and take it. The Vikings could have just controlled it. You know what I mean? But they were. But this
Maybe. Well, I mean, during the period we're talking about, Strathclyde successfully takes some land off of Northumbria as well,
Yeah.
and if there would be less pressure from the Scot, it's very interesting. You could see sort of like because the kings of Strathclyde are allied with the Scots and the Picts at different periods in different battles. The
Yeah.
king of Strathclyde. And it's important to note here that this is how we know Strathclyde existed for so long, is always noted as a separate king from the kings of Dalriata and Pictland. So they often go to war. So I think possibly, not that I'm insinuating that the Picts would for some reason be particularly more friendly to Strathclyde than Dalriata was, but you could see like a combined invasion into Northumbria, and the Picts having probably out of all the kingdoms off the top of my head have the best success rate against the Northumbrians and the English in battles.
I think it was during like the 600s or the 500s. But we're either about to hit it in one of the narrative episodes, but at one point a Welsh army or an English army, I'm really confused. This is like not like narrative, so I don't care if we get some things wrong. It's mainly our opinion on that kind of stuff. It's a Welsh or English army. They like this one king batters so many like North English kingdoms like Bernicia and Northumbria, and I guess the point where like he's threatening the Pictland and Godolphin and Strathclyde, and they can push forward, but something happens, and there's a certain battle, and the king's killed in that, and they fall back. There's so many different ways like it could be repeated with like. So my point was that they all unified together to fight the Scots and Strathclyde unified to fight this army, and there's also another time where during Brood's rebellion or like war, Strathclyde and Dalriata were also I think vacillated or in some sort of like pay tribute to the Northumbrian king, and it was Oswiu. Yeah. I think it was Oswiu's son Osworth or something like that who just wasn't cut out for it. His father was like this amazing conqueror, basically had the whole north of Britain in some sort of like a tributary state and conquered large parts of like southern Pictland. Yeah. And Osworth, his son was just not up to the task and lost it all. And I brought up the Welsh king and English king long before this as like a time with like the Strathclydes and the Scots and the Picts unified against like a common army. And if the Vikings maybe took Strathclyde, maybe held it, because they were conquering islands at this point, they could have been like a unified people to retake or kick the Vikings out, because they were causing havoc for everyone in North Britain. There's a lot of ways you can go at this. Maybe the one we said the most likely is Pictland conquers Scotland, like fully conquers Strathclyde, or maybe conquers the Viking settlement of Strathclyde. Borders
which I would like to add, I
yeah.
don't think is likely. I don't think Strathclyde would have fallen to the Vikings, but that's because I'm a Strathclyde raider.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely to. I do think it's a possibility, but it's...
Yeah, because well, I mean, we are doing alt history, aren't we? We are.
Yeah,
we are doing alt history.
And it just fluctuated the border between Northumbria and Pictland and all this stuff. And if the same kings come, or like similar, like maybe like the brother, it's like, oh, it's a brother of this guy, so it's like the mum's line. So, because for Pictland, if Ken MacAlpin is related to the Picts, it could be the brothers, like it goes in like the sisters' way instead of like Ken MacAlpin's way, because the Scots follow male succession, Picts didn't, they followed like son of the sister, son of the mother kind of thing, so like brothers and nephews, which means it would be a difference to the family, which means there's still a chance where there's some English king related, and he just takes over. Like he did the same thing in
Yeah.
Scotland.
So I think to roughly try and close in on an answer to this, you're probably looking at a pretty similar line of history. It's just got a different shade on it.
And this be and maybe speaking Welsh probably, like a Welsh accent, or like no,
It
well,
would
not a Welsh
be
accent. It'd be like
we
similar
would
to Welsh.
be speaking some form of Cumbric
It,
or
it'd be
the
like Scottish Gaelic, Irish Gaelic would be Welsh and like like Welsh Cumbric and Scotland like Pictish Cumbric. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Pictish Cumbric. It'd be like it'd be mixing. It'd be like, what do you want to be, Welsh or Irish? That's the question. Or
It would
yeah, sorry if you speak. I was going to say, or
no.
England would just conquer us like Wales did.
I'm checking this.
Wales.
I'm checking this for about the fifth time. What one is Gaelic again? Is that P or Q Celtic?
It's Q.
Right. So we would be
Just using
speaking
that.
a P Celtic language. So we would be able to speak about the English to Welsh people. That'd be pretty cool. We'd be able to have a conversation with Welsh.
But the same thing is still too. Our town names still be kind of the same because by this
Yeah,
point
no,
they were
because-
still quite. And they'd be like maybe like Hamilton or like
Yeah, the
There's
newer
no-
ones would maybe
yeah, like-
be a bit different.
Hamilton. I was about to say Dumfries. That's not new, but I think it is
No.
like new by this point, or like it's not a thing yet.
Aye.
So instead of Hamilton or Dumfries, it could be like Pinfiamir Champagne in Fjord, like a big long name. But
Yeah.
it is interesting. But most likely, I wouldn't be here. So maybe it's not that good.
There would be I don't know, I think we'd be doing what history of the Scots with
the history of the Scots with
history of the Scots with McPictface
yeah
and
with-
me.
yeah it's because my DNA is like it's like weirdly strongly Argyle, so it's like
Yeah.
but the thing is like see like Argyle and like Isle of Arran and that kind of stuff, it'd be like really strong, like maybe really like like 10,000 speakers of Scots Gaelic, like
This
really
is actual
isolated.
LARP. This is LARP.
I
See
feel
if people see if
yeah.
no think about it this way, right? See all the like the eastern parts of Scotland, where they would have spoke.
Cumbric, yeah.
We'll
But
say
Cumbric
Cumbric as an
lasted-
offhand, but with
Cumbric lasted quite a long time, like the Brittonic language in Scotland lasted till like it still was a thing in Bruce's time, wasn't it? But like it was really uncommon. It was
barely,
like really,
yeah,
it was barely a
yeah,
thing.
it was-
Yeah,
barely existed. So I think it would have died because I think if it was going to survive anywhere, although Orkney and the Hebrides have got their own very complex histories,
yeah.
it would
but they were
survive in
also
places like
Picts-
that.
Pictish by this time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they were vaguely under Pictish control,
They'd
so
probably
it would be
still be
something like
speaking
that.
English either in a
Yeah,
probably not,
yeah,
probably
I
not in a
think-
union, but a union probably still happen because if England like there's like because because if Longtricks never exists, there's no English. There's no like anti. Obviously, Scotland isn't a thing, but for this, there's no like bitter feud between England
Yeah.
and the north of Britain, like Pictland or Scotland. There'd be no evil
Yeah.
feud, so maybe they could be good friends. Like not good friends, but like it'd be a more kind of like
It would come
like
about
thing-
more naturally, and it wouldn't come
Yeah.
about from the Scottish economy collapsing because of
Yeah.
some place
But
in the
then
middle
also
of
at the same
the
time,
Americas.
the 100 years, the war with France, like that, because England would still be a vassal of France or like some weird fucking de facto
Yeah.
vassal of France, but without Scotland invading the north, there's no like annoying like mosquito poking at
Yeah.
like the English ear,
So-
which could mean the English could actually beat the French. That's-
Okay, so to try and finish the other questions this year, I
Yeah.
think we can conclude that
It's been about
France
20 minutes,
would
yeah.
be France would be good. Probably wouldn't exist. Maybe it's a potentiality that doesn't exist. We're gonna get something like 100 Years War professor here going. Well, actually,
yeah, France probably still exists, but
Oh,
like, it'd
yeah,
be,
it's my LARP world, my rules.
but there's a possibility that some parts of France, like Normandy, would still be a part of England today. Maybe not, or they
Maybe.
would still, or maybe they,
But
or
think-
maybe now they spoke English. Maybe Napoleon.
after all
isn't-
this, maybe after all this running around, I think the best we can do is go. Things would probably be not
similar.
too different, but it would probably be similar because the reason a lot of the same things happen is because ultimately England has the biggest population, which means they have the most manpower, the biggest
Yeah.
armies, and they still are the dominant nation. Although I suppose this assumes that a powerful Pictland, which would be in control of the whole of what is today Scotland doesn't
Like far
invade.
earlier than like
Yeah, that's the big thing, is it has to do a lot less consolidating like Alba did. So it makes it very interesting, and it means that possibly you could have a
yeah
Pictish invasion of England, and a
yeah
natural border
and
between Scotland and England would
and
be somewhere maybe like York.
and one final thing is that if the Vikings were defeated in battle against the Picts, Viking presence in North, like in like Scotland particularly, would be like much less strong, which could give
Yep,
them more time to gain more power while England's suffering by the Danish. But then you could also argue then the Danelaw might push towards north into the south.
exactly.
It's but yeah,
Very
to finish
interesting.
that question, Nicholas, we don't know. It's like we've got a strong thing about. We've got another question which we're quite long too, but not as long, and it is by me. I was thinking about this question. What if Agricola conquered the Caledonians successfully, and let's just say the rest of the tribes in northern Britain as well?
Well,
Um,
I think, and I know this is a really boring answer. I don't think it changes too much because they'd probably still pull it to Britain.
yeah, they still pull it of Britain, but I do feel like it maybe they would need more manpower to hold the north as well, and a lot more forts. And that it'd be a more draining economy, and maybe be even
Yeah,
two governors. Maybe if I'm being that facetious with the
maybe.
Romans,
Yeah,
there may be like a specific person for Scotland, but it either go two ways. Nothing changed really, and the same pull it from Britain, and instead of barbarian raids, it's barbarian revolts and other raids from Ireland and Germany, or it gets into that kind of thing where it just doesn't. It takes longer to fall,
yeah,
and
and then Britain gets to do like the whole third Rome lap.
yeah, and like Britain may it could technically be speaking like a Brittonic Latinized language like France.
Yeah,
It'd be really weird.
a really
Um,
weird Romance language.
yeah, but even think it could also be a bon answer. He could have conquered it, and see the moment he's taken away to Rome, it's in
Yep.
revolt again. Or Agricola goes back to Rome, larping as the new emperor of Rome, and actually, well, what happens?
Yeah.
You don't actually know what could happen here. But this was before the whole "I win a battle, I'm God Emperor of Rome" kind of stuff happened. So
Yeah.
Agricola probably, I also don't think Agricola had any from what the Rome for the things we have of him. He didn't really want to do that. I don't think either. He
Yeah. No.
was.
Poor guy suffered from success.
Yeah, every Roman guy did that, but it was too successful. By knife point, you go, "You're emperor now," and we want money.
Yep.
That was quite a fast one actually. I thought it would take too
Yeah.
long.
To be fair, I think it's because there's so little to like bounce around off of.
Yeah, yeah. I'm more knowledgeable in this pure Scottish War independence, which is the
Yeah.
defining. The Scottish War
Yeah.
independence, like the defining history moment of whole of Britain.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty much. Yes. It's the knock-on effects of it would take like 3 episodes just to discuss all the
If
important knock-on
Alexander the
effects.
Third didn't want to meet his wife on her birthday, if you know what that means, and didn't get flung off a cliff,
Yeah.
Scotland would probably maybe be independent to this day. Maybe,
If
maybe.
Scotland, if Alexander the Third doesn't, it just goes to bed that night.
Yeah, if you listen to his
History is
porter,
yeah.
like
If Alexander the Third goes to bed, God knows.
it'd be Alexander the
There's
Fourth,
so
or
many
who knows? Yeah,
implications.
and there maybe even could be like the Maid of Norway. It could even be like a whole Norway and Scotland weird union.
North Sea Empire.
It could be literally anything if the Picts don't do something, or if Alexander the Third just goes to bed. It's mental how Alexander going to the bed inadvertently caused the American Civil War. Like,
Like
think about bed,
that's how
no
big
American,
of a
yeah.
decision. Like if Alexander the Third doesn't go one more round of zombies at 12 o'clock
Yeah.
at night,
Even so,
literally,
if it wasn't a stormy night,
yeah. Although this is
it's
Scotland, to be fair. Now we're getting
yeah,
no.
yeah.
This is real alternate history. This is real
Yeah,
alternate
it's
history.
like see the whole history of the world. It's literally this might be bit too far a grasp, but up to this point, it's if Alexander the Third goes to bed, the USA would be different. England and Scotland, the UK wouldn't be a thing. Maybe it could be like the King of England if this war still happens. Napoleon maybe would have one in Europe because there's no unit big Britain, and then there's like maybe a Scotland,
Yeah, there's
and
no
they've
sea
got
power.
yeah, and there may be like a Scotland involved in like a. Well, I think England still have a strong navy. Wales still gone. Ireland maybe is still gone with some maybe Scottish holdings in Ireland. There could be a unified Scotland and England and Ireland. It's Napoleon, and it'd be like Napoleon could maybe get the Scottish to help, but then the Scottish probably wouldn't do that because like why would they? What did he gain to win?
It's very interesting. It is very, very interesting.
You could write a book
because
on
then
it.
because there's no because there's no
Wrong answer.
there's no English. I say English. There's no War of the Three Kingdoms. Cromwell doesn't happen in the way that it happens.
Yeah, because the
there's
Scottish were
union.
really important.
Yeah, yeah, and well, it's not so much that it's very hard pressed because you're talking about children of Alexander. Then you're not talking about Robert the Bruce as King Hingy, and Charles the First is ultimately a descendant of Bruce. So therefore, you know what I mean. It goes all the way back. It goes all the way back to that moment. If he just goes to bed,
still would the UK maybe still Catholic, if because descendant of Bruce. But the thing is, though, Scotland became Protestant not because like we like it better. It sung more to the poorer people of Britain because Scotland because priests had a lot of money in that, and poor people like well, I want money too. It's literally Alexander the Third going to bed.
shapes the next 700 years of Scottish history.
Like the UK is like Catholic, maybe the UK maybe speaking French. Who knows?
So Alexander the Third goes to bed.
That's even the question, by the way. This is
no. But Alexander going to bed that night changes world history. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny, like we've done the first question, done the second one, go back to the first question. So this is about 20 minutes, so this might be its own episode in itself.
Yeah, it definitely will be at this rate. We'll still get about 8 more questions to go.
Yeah, but half the questions are like 5 minutes long, innit? So this is from my that's not from this is from TikTok. A question from TikTok. You can see it because I said the first two ones at the start, I think.
What are good books about the Picts? Well, obviously there is Tim Clarkson's. I think it's just called The Picts.
The Picts, Makers of Scotland, Tim Clarkson.
Yep. Makers of Scotland by Tim Clarkson. That's another really good one. That goes on about everybody important in Scotland. There's The Picts and Scots at War by Nick Aitchison, which is pretty good.
I'll throw in this Men of the North by Tim Clarkson as well. Yeah. The Strathclyde Britons. That would also be really important to bring up the Picts a lot because, but inadvertently though, it's like you'd read that if you want to know more about the Picts in more detail from other perspectives.
Yeah.
Even though every perspective's from other perspectives. The Picts.
There is From Caledonia to Pictland, Scotland to 795, which is by James E. Fraser, and it's part of the New Edinburgh History of Scotland series, which covers about from the start. And there's also From Pictland to Alba, which is also a part of that series, but the author of that is Alex Wolff. And there's
also this podcast as well.
I read the first book wrong. It's from Caledonia to Pictland and then Pictland to Alba. Those are two I would recommend.
Yeah, and this is from a TikTok comment. Not even like so all these questions. This was the only question not asked to us. It was just, I took it off it was off my TikTok. So yeah, shout out for Scottish Logs and TikTok. And this is from my girlfriend. Question 4: Did the Picts bed rot? Now this was supposed to be like a funny question about. Did they bed rot? Because I don't know anything about the Picts. Because it's like so why are you Charles talking to me about the Picts and Robert the Bruce? Actually, no, they would not have because unless you're a lord, you couldn't bed rot because you'd have to be working the fields or your job. And if the peasants bed rot, maybe on their day off though. But do you think they had days off? And we don't know. But do you think they would have?
Probably would have days off.
Yeah, it's just like celebration stuff.
But not days off. Not days off in the way we know them. It's not like a day off, right? Okay, I'll do some housework and stuff like that. It's like a day off meant. I guess. Drunk. Yeah, that's it pretty much because day-to-day life was so hard, so much harder than it is now. You really didn't get to bed rot unless you were dying or like in a part of the elite.
And the term bed rot means like we just waste time lying in bed, and
should have started with that.
Yeah, no, like doing stuff in your bed, like I'd say like on your phone, but you don't have a phone, so like it'd be maybe sat in bed just reciting poetry, reading the Bible. Probably not because they had no time to.
Yeah.
The
No literacy
Lords,
rates either.
yeah, the Lords, the Lords what did
To be fair,
better.
we're talking about Picts here, but are they reading stones?
It's like
Waiter, bring me my
it's,
favourite stone.
it's a big rope winch, like it's like we get the Lord sat there like reading like a bit higher. The guys sat there like Eddie Hall, like holding it down so it wouldn't fall. Now
So,
next one's from your girlfriend.
it's for my girlfriend. Dig the Picts doom scroll. Unless like Lewis's previous scenario where they have giant men hauling around the Pictish stones, so that the guy could read
But-
them.
but if
I
the thing
don't
is-
believe they would have.
No, but if the thing is, doom scroll doesn't mean you're lying in bed. Doom scroll is like if you just spend a
Well,
lot of time
yeah.
scrolling something. So
Yeah.
did the Picts doom
The
scroll?
equivalent would be that.
If they were a priest, yes, they would have doom scrolled because they read the
Yeah.
Bible a lot. If they were a lord, maybe they were doom scrolling maps.
Stones.
But that's not yes stones.
Oh, yeah, stones on maps. Yeah.
But like the Picts obviously wrote something on paper. They probably because we have a book from we have one written source. I actually looked this up. I was really stupid. We didn't know this. The King List that was written by the Picts. Or was it?
You're right.
Yeah, it's written by the Picts and
No,
Scots
it's
and
not.
everyone.
Yeah, but it's bits and pieces. It's interlinked.
It's not like a Pict guy wrote it down and that was it. It was obviously how writing sources work. I'm gonna quote it on the Romans here because I don't know how they did it, but it was the Christianity is a core reason why we know our history because who has time to rewrite books and his whole life job is to obviously be Christian and a monk and a priest and to make sure books are kept safe and records and that. The priests, monks and people working like the Christians, a lot of sources and like records in let's say Byzantium or Eastern Rome are written by priests and who were also historians too. There was historians who just weren't priests and wrote their own thing, but like Agricola's son-in-law. But where am I going with this?
Where were you going with that? Yeah, I was thinking that you can.
It's written about history. Oh, it's about the King List. No, it's about the King List. So, so that's how they wrote. So I was explaining how sources were written. So, and how the King List probably wasn't written by like a Pictish guy. It was being copied and copied and copied over time and time again. Which is why we have a lot of like Mons Grampus spelling issues because it's been rewritten.
Yeah.
The next one's from my sister's boyfriend, who's actually from Pictland. He's from Perth. So, how close were Scots and Pictish traditions? You can
Close enough. I suppose you could say close enough that as far as the leading theory goes, the Picts were more than happy to assimilate into a union with the Scots,
Yeah.
which, as far as we know, presented absolutely zero Pictish cultural traditions and whatnot at the forefront, and all of it is Scottish.
I mean,
and
have you seen a Scotland game? There's a lot of blue face paint.
Yeah, I suppose there's still wood painting and
have you seen Four Corners, the tattoos full body? It's
but they must have been close enough to where, and I don't know how important this was for Pictish nobles after all of them had been killed, mind you, but after when those two come into a union, I haven't anyway, and they might have, and we might get slaughtered for this. I haven't read about like Pictish uprisings within Alba.
no,
Not that I'm aware of.
from what I've read, there was an English chronicle wrote about Pictish warriors in Galloway, but they were wrong because the Picts weren't in Galloway, it was Britons. The last thing they wrote about is like they wrote about the Picts like these were the worst warriors they ever faced, and it was like strictly Britons. So it would have been other than Picts. But this was like during it was during the time where like the Strathclyde wasn't a thing anymore, and they called them Picts. I was in the whole like what happened to the Picts part of the book we're reading. But a fun thing to add to the Scottish and Picted traditions, there's a chance most Scots were actually Britons, and this might cause a wee argument here. There was on the Isle, I don't know what Isle it was. I think it was Isle of Arran. There was a sort of route. So that we mentioned the Brocks, like the British way they built stuff, like the Britons way they built stuff, Brocks and that. The Irish had a different way they built stuff, and the Isle of Arran there was Irish type of building, but it was full of like Brittonic stuff, like Brittonic dresswear, it's not like a full coat, but like Brittonic like relics of pots and
Items.
stuff, like items that. So the theory that he got to was they may have like been really like similar to like Irish culture and language, but they were still like they were Britons in
Yeah.
themselves. They didn't come from Ireland, and
No,
it kind of
obviously not.
yeah, and it plays in the part of how obviously some people did immigrate from Ireland to Scotland, but there was no like mass ships and wagons. It
Yeah.
was like they had what they had on their back really, and obviously the boat they were on the boat. They didn't swim across, but they also came across. So there's a chance, there's a theory that Daniel Writer was like mainly
Most likely, ethnically, probably you're talking Britons, but the elite would have been Irish.
yeah, the elite was still Irish, like the O'Neills and stuff like that. They're still related to Dal
Because
Writer in Ireland.
Dalriata has a sister kingdom, or it's just a
Yeah,
part of the same kingdom, and
and
also in what is modern
yeah,
day Ulster.
and there's also a
I
theory
think
about
you're right
the
about that.
Isle of Epidie, which I've harassed his ears too much about them.
Yeah. How did we? Oh, I'm sorry. I was still reading question 5. I was like, how did we get here? No, this is actually on topic.
Yeah,
Okay, this is yeah.
The Epidie may have spoke Scots, Scottish Gaelic, not Scots,
Aye.
Scottish Gaelic, and they were Britons themselves. And the whole thing was there were two
Where is
Icelands.
EPD again?
It's an island in Argyll. I don't know. It's basically it's like Latin for horse, something like that, and they may have worshipped
Yeah.
horses. But the way the island is, there's a bunch of mountain range in mainland Scotland, so they were more isolated from like just going to mainland Scotland, and due to trading, because they're an island, they would have traded more with people on boats. Obviously that's why they trade on an island. They may have came into contact more with the Irish and maybe like the Scots or the writer. So they may have actually just adopted. Like at one point, it was like they speak Brittonic here, and the trade language is Scots.
Yeah,
It was
like what happens in the border of Scotland and England, where Scots comes from a mixture of people speaking Gaelic,
yeah,
people speaking Old Northern English, and then you get
yeah,
this
and
horrible language of
and
Scots,
it's like
and
look
then
at
eventually
and if
English.
you look at like Spain or Germany, they learn a language like English for it's good for jobs and businesses. But let's say in
Aye,
this aspect, it's a small island with like a
community.
few hundred or a few thousand people. Eventually, it's better to just speak Scots because that's all they speak to. Majority of the time, they trade with Scots to speak to Scots. Obviously, they speak the Britons still, but eventually, like they just start speaking Scots naturally, and maybe that's where the difference between Scots and that's too far. That's I guess that's too
I was
far.
about to, I was about, I was about to say, okay, I was about to say, because an Isle and Argyll of people
Yeah,
spoke Scots,
yeah,
but what you can infer from that is with the like you were talking about in Argyll with the Irish style housing, but the Brittonic items inside, there couldn't have been a huge clash in culture. It couldn't have
yeah.
been widely separated.
I'm,
So I
I'm,
think they
I'm not
must have been close
saying the
enough.
Picts and Scots were like the same had similar the same
Yeah,
culture. They still had different distinct culture. All the Romans would have
yeah,
mentioned it.
yeah,
um,
exactly. Oh,
but
well, would they have? Because they never mentioned why the Picts are called Picts. They never mentioned that.
yeah, true. That's a fair point.
The Romans mention whatever they like.
But the Romans differentiate the Scots and Picts, so
Well, that's a good point. So they were different enough. They were different enough.
yeah. This is definitely by this point its own episode.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
I might release it early or with the. I'll probably release it with the Ninth Legion episode. This is technically episode 5, but it's not really. No, this is technically episode 4, but it's not because I didn't want to. Because we recorded episode 4
Yeah.
before this, so we can't call it episode 4 now.
Yeah.
And so question 7 was from my sister, and she said, I didn't know you had a podcast. So
Here you go.
here you are, you're in the episode. Hi Casey. And so episode okay, question 8, and this is I'm gonna let Luke do this because I
Yeah, this
don't
is
know, and it's from his dad.
this is a question from my dad, and it's about the North Pictish kingdoms and the South Pictish kingdoms, and it's do they join together or were they always together? Which was actually like it kind of took me aback. It was an absolute cracker of a question. So
Yeah.
from what we can tell, is that at the beginning at least, because Bede points them out that there is a North Pictish kingdom and a South Pictish kingdom, so they definitely aren't all together. But again, as I mentioned, and I think it's the first or second episode. No, it's definitely the second episode because it's the first proper episode that we do,
Yeah.
not the intro. There's like a high king, and he eventually, I say he as if it's one man,
Yeah.
that eventually becomes an overarching king of all the Picts, because
Yeah.
I think you pronounce it Brood. Is it like the name that's
Brood is the
Bridei?
Gaelified version of it, I think.
Right, okay. Well, because I'm a super
So
Briton, I'm reading it
Briley,
Bridie. So we've
it's
got
like Bridie,
Bridie,
or yeah,
King,
yeah.
yeah, King Bridie. He's kind of
Son of
unifies
Bailey, that
the
yeah,
north and
that
southern Picts.
son of Bailey, because I think there's two Bridies. Son of Bailey.
Yeah, son of Bailey. And this is he dies in 693, but his victory at Dunedin strengthened sort of the kings of Fort Trio's influence across Pictish territories. And then it's how did you say it? Oingus McFergan is
on
also prominently
Ongus, yeah,
recorded
yeah.
as being a very powerful Pictish king, as I mentioned earlier on. He subjugates Dalrata, and he's a dominant ruler over what's basically Scotland
Yeah, and
at that
it'd
particular
be hard
point.
to imagine him doing this to Dalright and also tributary, like getting money from like Strathclyde, like from tributary and that kind of stuff from just like the southern
Yeah,
Pictish like lands. And there's also to push more the fact that it was like an overarching high king. There was a Pictish king of Orkney, which was brought before Brood, because Brood was not Christian.
yes,
Because they weren't Christian, it was brought towards Brood as like a hostage, I think, or something.
yeah, something like that.
For Columba, it's Columba or Bede. I think it's
Yeah, I can't
Columba.
remember. Yeah,
And then
but generally, yeah. On you
Columba
go.
was trying to evangelicalize the Picts by this point, and interesting enough, fact enough, the Picts and the Scots became Christian before the English did, which is like really weird, like geographically,
Yeah,
but
and it's
it's
also
yeah.
to further back up this point, the annals generally equate King of
If you
Fort
mention
True
if you
with
mention this
effective
Columba, they spoke different language to Columba, I'm gonna hit you.
with effective overlordship of sort of the Picts. Um, But so generally in Bede's time, which I think is about the 6th or 7th century, I don't remember, there are definitely two separate kingdoms, but from about 7th, 8th, 9th, sort of, they are like a unified sort of
Yeah,
kingdom,
yeah.
and it is just
Um,
Pict land.
but like it's weird because like it's weird to say this, but when reading over Picts and like planning this podcast, I kind of forgot it was like those two. Essentially, to say, I know there's over
Yeah,
kings. I seen it all like Pickland as like a the
yeah,
HRE.
like is my mental image.
Yeah, and my mental image is like it's like the HRE, but that's my problem because I kept looking at maps of Pickland when I was posting shit about Twitter posts. So in my head, it was just unified Pickland in my head, which is horrific because like Sutherland, I forget, is that what it's called? Sutherland.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
roughly.
a distinct Pictish kingdom too, called K
Yep.
or K.
Yes, because this is where Caithness comes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And Caithness means something. I can't remember specifically what it
And there's
means, but
also
it
cat
means
as
like
well. There's also cat, like the kingdom of
yeah,
cat. It's a rabbit hole, and in our podcast we probably will never mention the name Cat Kingdom because
yeah,
it's really not important to mention that apart from this episode now.
yeah,
So the question episode's pretty much just random stuff we think about, and
yeah,
also, and we're not, and but the thing with the questions, we don't, well obviously we want to be right, but if we get something wrong, it's not as bad because it's not like the narrative. It's just
yeah.
it's just questions.
But we are totally welcome to being corrected on that. Apart from when we
Yeah.
in the following episode throw a tantrum about it. So I hope that
we
answers
threw
that question.
we threw I think to Jack and before yeah.
Uh,
So
and
episode
the
9.
penultimate, the
Yeah,
penultimate question
yeah, yeah.
is also from my sister, and it is, why is so much about the Picts still unknown today? Because they didn't write anything for some reason.
Yeah, and
Don't know why.
the thing is, it could be some Viking influence in this too, because they definitely must have wrote on paper. They can't have just wrote on rocks the
Yeah,
whole time.
they weren't doing the Egyptian hieroglyphic gimmick.
Yeah. The, the, it, wa- so Iona was an island in Dalright. It was like for some reason the island was like the key religious spot of the kingdom in a lot of northern Britain, and it's really weird because you'd imagine islands are like a terrible spot to put a really like
Yeah,
important place. And but don't worry, they learn this when the Vikings come. But like it's like Pictish kings are buried here, and all these things were buried here, and even some like it was a Pictish prince who was his dad was overthrown, and he was sent here as a monk, and the Vikings found him, and they somehow found him. I'm reading this and thinking to myself, how do they know it's him? It must be like a monk ratted him on him.
Someone must have, I was about to say, someone must have gave him up.
But like, see if I was that monk, you could just lie and say anyone's like, put a dead body, that's him. Then you all die.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But then you could go, maybe it wasn't him, but then like the royalty and people like recognised him. And it was great. It was quite sad because the guy's like, from what we know, the guy didn't want to be a king or prince, but like, he was taken back because it was currently out of the hands of the Pictish kings who were now in charge because it was in Dalriata and also religious dominance over Pictland, so they couldn't really just go and grab him. But then the Vikings brought him to them, and I think ransomed as well, and then I think he was drowned. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. I think he was ceremoniously drowned because the Picts did that. They just, yeah, guys, execution, drown him. Horrific way to go. I think every like execution, I think drown's the worst out of them all.
I'm sure there's worse ones that are like
there is worse,
but like see out like conventional typical executions
like hanging,
stuff like
bedding,
that,
like even being shot with arrows, like drowned in like let's say dirty bogging water because it's not been sterilised. But the reason it's unknown, but I was getting to that point with the Church Island, is that the Vikings sacked it a lot and burned a lot of records as well. So there could have been Pictish records because, as I said before, church people liked writing stuff in these times. There could have been Pictish records that were just burned, written by Picts. Also, it's spectacular.
It's a bit like how in the Kingdom of Strathclyde we know they must have wrote stuff, but we just don't have any of it because of a particular group of people with a particular
Vikings.
name. Yeah, Vikings. It was Vikings that Vikings in the valley of the Clyde that just so happened to extinguish the British records and replace them with that particular culture's records and language, and that's why we don't have anything from the Britons. But we won't go into that because this isn't a Dalriata hate session.
Yeah, and I was going to mention something funny, and you like it's important you just like took my mind off it because you mentioned like how you are a Briton apparently.
Strathclyde's strongest warrior. Yeah,
Strathclyde's strongest warrior. It's I don't think it was like anything huge, but I've just forgotten now that you've said that. I'm gonna remember it like later on tonight. I'm gonna be so annoyed it's not in the podcast.
You splice it in.
Yeah, episode 5, and we're like, anyway, so 2 episodes ago, there's this one bit I did forget to mention, and question 10 is the last one we have today, and the answer is I'll let go. Explain it.
Jack, yes, the answer's yes. I'm going to expand on that because the podcast will get ripped down if it did.
I will say yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yes. And I'll let you exit for us.
We'll let you guys think of that, what the answer could be, and but you, I bet you for that you won't know what we're talking about. You won't know, and maybe we might put it on Twitter. The question on Twitter.
I don't think so.
Anyway, that is the questions podcast episode. Questions 1 we'll call it because there'll be more probably.
Yeah.
But this was meant to be a part of the Ninth Legion disappearance, but it will come out at the same time. Or maybe like a couple hours later on. So you've got 2 episodes this week. Be grateful because it was only happened because I felt bad about the really short episode about the Ninth Legion, so you can thank me for that. But yeah, next episode will be about the first time the Picts come on the stage, and after that will be another episode about narrative, and then it'll be religion. That's as far we got to. Religion, traditions, and stuff like that for Prague. But yeah, I hope you do enjoy. I'm sorry that technically you have to wait for the 2 episodes to get to the actual narrative.
Yeah.
So by this time,
but it's worth it. It's worth it. That is a good episode.
The Picts haven't mentioned yet, and we've spoken about them disappearing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Yes. Anyway, that's been the History of Picts podcast, and follow our Twitter. What's it called? History Prod? History Picts Prod?
History Prod. Wow, History Prod. Prod. Whatever you prod.
The
It's
podcast.
at Pictish
Our next, our next podcast is the podcast. Yeah, so it's History Picked on Twitter, or just History the Picked podcast. You can Google that and you'll find it. Please follow us on that and like our comment about getting Tim Clarkson on the podcast, because
let us dream.
yeah, but like, what we're going to ask him, because if we get him on the podcast, what's going to happen?
Hey man, we'll figure that out when we get there. Cross
Yeah,
that bridge when we come
or Nick Aitchinson, him too.
Yeah, Nick.
Or even Tim Robertson, Tom. That's not even his name. Robin Pearson.
Yep.
Robin Pearson or Mike Duncan. He won't get on because he's got 2 kids and like a university degree. He's not getting on this podcast. But that now I feel like I'm putting down the other 3. If you cost money, we're not wanting you on this because we're not paying you. But but if you want to hop on, please, Robin Pearson, I love your podcast. Please get on this. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. If you want to say anything, like, you can now.
No, I have nothing to add.
Anyway,
thanks for listening.
Thank you for your questions. Give us some more, and we'll do another episode of the questions, possibly during the Prague holiday we're on. So that's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
But by this point, yeah, it's 2 weeks away by this point. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you're on YouTube, like and comment. And if you're on Spotify, rate it 5 stars if you've not already. Or download the episode because that helps us too. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Yep. Bye. Bye.